With increasing prices, inflation, if you will, on the rise in our grocery stores and stores in general, we could all use tips, tricks, and a little wisdom to help us stretch our coin, stretch our dollars, stretch our monthly budget, namely our grocery budgets for our homes and for our families, and make them operate at maximum capacity and make them stretch a little bit more, if you know what I mean. We all need a little stretch for the things that our home definitely needs. If you're interested in the 8 hacks that I have that will help you save money / dollars on your monthly, weekly grocery budget, then stay tuned. I'm going to share 8 tricks that will help you save tons on your grocery budget every month. So stick around. Okay, here we go. 8 tips and tricks that will help you stretch your coin for your monthly grocery budget. Let's get into it. Number 1, meal plan. I know it sounds a little mundane and it sounds maybe cliche or overrated, but there is so much truth in having a plan, having a game plan, having a meal map, if you will, for your family to go by before you even set foot into the store. That's number 1, is to meal plan. Know what you are going to make for your family for the week, for the next 2 weeks, or for the month. You choose at the length of time that you want to meal plan for according to how often you shop. But for however often you shop, however often you guys need to re-up on things that you need to eat, you need to go into the stores with a meal plan, with a game plan. It is very, it just tugs at my heart a lot when I see a lot of families that are in the stores week in and week out that are just grabbing things off the shelf, and they are kind of like thinking what the family is going to eat for the next couple of days just off the top of their dome, like right there on the spot in the store. You are guaranteed to go into the store and spend just money just flying, going out the window, and just spend. There will be no budget if you continue to shop in that manner. It is very wise to have a game plan. You have a game plan when you do everything else in your life, when you go and you buy a new vehicle, when you purchase a new house, when you purchase clothing for you or your children. Let's say somebody needs a whole new season of wardrobe. You just shop around and you have a game plan and you know what you're going in to look for, right? So that's the same idea that you want to have for your meals. And especially in this time where there's a little crunch on the necessity to really operate wisely within our homes. So yes, that's number 1, is to be aware, know what you will be making with the food that you're about to go in the store and buy. Number 2 is to be aware of the stores in your town that sell the cheapest groceries. So when you're aware of the spots in your towns, the stores that generally have the cheapest foods in different areas, maybe not across the board, but they might have cheaper meats at one store. At another store, they might have cheaper produce. At another store, they might have cheaper milk. So depending on what are the needs and the desires of your family according to your meal plan, have a running tab, a running mental tab, or maybe even a post-it or stick-it note or something in your planner tab to keep you cognizant of the stores in your town that number 1, that you shop at, and amongst those stores, which ones you generally frequent for the cheapest prices in different groups of items that you're going to be purchasing. Number 3's tip is to limit the number of times that you're going to be heading to the store to shop for your home. Not only is it beneficial to limit the number of times because it forces you to stick to the adhered plan in number 1, your meal plan, your meal mapping for your family, if you will, but cutting down on the amount of times that you are actually running back to the grocery store saves you on your gas. Do I need to go any further with that? Do we all know what the gas prices are here at our gas stations in this 2023? Speak no further. You understand what I mean. You're here. So yeah, cut down on the number of times that you go to the store. It forces you to be a disciplined person and to also stick to your plan. Number 4, If you live in an area where you're lucky enough to have farmers markets or fresh produce markets, shop those. Many times at those types of markets where there's a daily sale, namely like a local supplier sale, if you will end up getting much more bang for your buck, especially for your produce items that are necessary for the meals that you make for your family. At a grocery store, your items have already been pre-packaged the majority of the time. Bags of apples, bags of oranges have already been processed out and weighed out and put into their bags. Whereas at a farmer's market, especially if there is a local seller that may have an over surplus of a particular produce item and they're looking to move some weight, move some sales on that particular item, usually they will give you a lot more in general, a lot more quantity for the price that you are paying per pound, etc. So where you probably would go to your local grocery store and pay $6 for a bag, a 3-pound bag of apples, you may be able to go to a local farmer's market or a local fresh produce market, and from a local supplier, you may be able to get a 10-pound box of apples for $6 or $7, or you might be able to get a 20-pound box of apples for $10. So be on the lookout for local supply. Local is best when it comes to saving on prices. Not only are you getting things, are you supporting people who are locally in your area and you're keeping your dollars local, but you are also getting a larger bang for your buck than shopping at a retail store for your family's food. Okay, so number 5 is to shop the perimeters first. Shop the exterior points whenever you enter the store first for your produce, your meat, and your dairy. The meals that you are planning for your family should consist of fresh produce, bananas, your apples, your oranges, your cilantro, your ginger, all of that good stuff. All of those fresh things, natural things, are going to be found on the perimeters of the store. Have you ever noticed that when you walk into a grocery store, all of the things that are more natural are along the edges and the middle aisles are highly processed things? So with highly processed things, you're also paying a convenience price for those things to be processed and for those things to be packaged for you, prepackaged things. You want to stay away from that, if at all possible. I know sometimes, depending on what your level of cooking is, it might call for a canned good or two, or some pasta. In that case, you will end up going into those inward aisles. But in keeping a plan for your family and thinking about the types of meals that you want to make for your family, you need to stick to the exterior aisles and cook from those fresh ingredients. So number 6, don't be brand name bougie girl on the things that don't really matter brand wise. What do I mean by that? If there's a particular national brand that you've been buying national brand on just because that's just all that you've been doing is buying national brand, consider buying the store brand, off brand version of that same particular item. For example, for as long as me, myself, and I and my little southern Magnoliamolasses self has been making banana pudding, girl, southern banana pudding. You know, the banana pudding that your grandmama and them make, that your mama whip up sometimes. That banana pudding from scratch, not the yellow box. For as long as I've been making banana pudding, it has been ingrained in my head to buy Nabisco vanilla wafers. Grew up on it. That's all I knew. I was a ride or die until I discovered one day. Now, I have tried lots of different store brand of their own vanilla wafers, and I had never found one that could compete. So that I had just chalked it up. I'm going to continue buying Nabisco vanilla wafers for my banana pudding until I stumble upon Aldi's one day and actually try theirs out, and theirs is legit a 1-for-1, and they have replaced girl. They've replaced my Nilla wafers, my Nabisco Nilla wafers. So I no longer buy the $4 to $5 now box of, it's $4 and some change for a box of Nilla wafers. I don't know if you've been checking up on it. Y'all still eating banana pudding out there? Homemade banana pudding. Ooh, I feel like making one right now. Oh my goodness. It's almost dinner time too. I can't do that today. Anyway, yes, Nilla wafers, I no longer buy the $4 to $5 national brand box. I think that even with the price subtle increases that have been happening at Aldi's, even Aldi's vanilla wafers are only like $2.15 a box at my local store. Check on that at your local store to make sure. But I'm just using this as an example of a national brand versus a store's brand where you can safely buy the cheaper item and not sacrifice the quality of the item. So in this swap out, I did not sacrifice quality because all these vanilla wafers are legit just as good as, or if not better than, the national brand that I was previously buying. So you'll have to think about the national brand items that you really have clung to over the years or over any amount of time. Really think about the brands that you have been sticking to and challenge yourself to think, have I tried other brands, other lesser brands, or other store brands, if you will, not lesser brands, store brands, if you will. Maybe do a month challenge where you take some of those staple items that you will not compromise on and try different store brand items compared to that national brand and see where your swap outs can happen. That, my dear, is an area where you will find a big chunk of your money being slashed on your grocery budget. Okay, number 7. Opt for a filtered water system of any kind, some kind, over buying water bottles. Like I told you earlier, anything that is prepackaged for you, you are paying that convenience fee for that. Am I saying throw out all of the plastic water bottles that you have if you've already stocked up on some? No. But what I am saying is don't buy them anymore. Buy your Brita pitcher or invest in your refrigerator where you can have a filter system already. Many of the newer refrigerators have a filter on it already. So if you know, you already know that what I'm speaking is true. Filter water tastes better, is cleaner. A lot of the filter systems that are on refrigerators these days do a lot better at the filtering process than 10, 20 years ago. So that was number 7. What are some of the things that stick out to you to work on with your own grocery budget that you can immediately sense that you can, oh, this is something that I need to start immediately doing? Let me know in the comments down below. I don't know why I'm breathing like that. Yes. Okay, and number 8, you want to bulk buy when the prices are rock bottom. When you find an item that you know is a staple item in your home and you may be running low on it, or you have the extra space in your home to stock up on it, a shelf in a garage or a shelf in a room, space under a bed, stock up on that item. If you are a constant user of Rotel and you find that there is a Rotel sale going on at a particular store where maybe normally the cans are $1.15, $1.20, whatever, and they have a sale for 70 cents, that is your stock up time to stock up on 10, 20, 30 cans at a time. You want to do that for all of the things that are staples in your particular home. It's up to you to determine, really and truthfully, what are the items that are staples for you that you are willing to stock up on and willing to store in your home. So I hope that at least one, or if not all of these tips were in some way helpful to you to implement in your plan for your grocery budget. And I hope that you start implementing some of these as soon as possible to see your dollar amounts that you're spending on your grocery budget go down immensely. Starting a meal plan, knowing what your family is going to eat every week is a game changer, because you're setting yourself up for success just by stepping in the store and having a plan. I'm telling you, if you can just start at number 1, we are getting somewhere, my dear. So I want you guys to holler back at your girl and dialogue with me, but let me know in the comments. Let me know what are some of the things that you have been thinking about doing. Let me know in the comments down below, what are some of the things that stand out to you on my list of 8 tips and hacks. I want to thank you so much for coming by today and listening to my tips that I had to share with you. And until then, I will be seeing you next time on the next video. Bye. 8 tips and tricks. Eight tips and tricks. Gonna save my family some money. Gonna save the molasses some money.